with me if you want to live. You just don't turn it off!
The Outlaw Josey Wales is an American Western released in 1976, directed by Clint Eastwood and starring Clint Eastwood, Sandra Locke, and Chief Dan George. When Missouri farmer Josey Wales joins a Confederate guerrilla unit and winds up on the run from the Union soldiers who murdered his family. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jason. You're watching Backtrack Cinema, and welcome to another Clint Eastwood review as we're going to be talking about the Outlaw Josey Wales. Now, this is what I think of when I think of Clint Eastwood, because this is the Clint Eastwood movie that I grew up with. I mean, ever since I was a young kid, Outlaw Josey Wales has been a staple, a Sunday afternoon staple ever since I was a kid. This is one of my dad's favorite movies, one of his favorite Clint Eastwood movies. So I have a lot of nostalgia with this movie, which definitely would go into the way I would grade it, or definitely go into how much I enjoy watching this movie. I mean, this is a real gritty Western where the characters look weathered, the production design looks weathered. You know what I mean? All the landscape, the towns, everything that Clint Eastwood shows you, it's got a gritty, visceral feel. Like that opening where the Union, where the Bluecoats murder his family. It's gritty. I mean, they torch his place, and you just hear the kid asking for help, crying for his dad and everything. When his family gets all murdered and everything like that, it really starts off with a bang. You know what I mean? And then we find Josey Wales years later being tracked down, becomes a real famous gunslinger that they're trying to capture, where the reward keeps going up and going up and going up, and everyone is after Josey Wales. I think Clint Eastwood really balances the tone out well in this movie. Like, I like how dark it gets. I like how gritty it gets. It's a revenge story, but he also balances out this humor, and you can have a lot of fun with this movie too, with all the one-liners. Like, the dialogue is one of the best parts of this movie. I love the dialogue in this movie, whether if it's the meaningful conversations he's having with himself and Sandra Locke, or the witty and comical dialogue he has with Chief Dan George, which is, and Indian fella Chief he picks up, where they start riding together and stuff like that. A lot of humor, a lot of laughs with them too.
After I get to liking someone, they ain't around long.
I notice when you get to disliking someone, they ain't around for long either.
And just those one-liners, like when he's tells the Bluecoats when they're staring them down, and he's like, "You gonna pull them pistols, or you gonna whistle Dixie?" You know what I mean? I just a lot of stuff like that, or he's like, he's traveling with this young kid who dies, and he's like, "I wish we had time to bury them, fellers." And he's like, "Hell with them fellas, maggots and worms you got to eat too."
Are you gonna pull those pistols or whistle Dixie? Hell with them fellas. Buzzards gotta eat, same as worms.
And there's a real coldness. There's a real coldness to Clint Eastwood's character. After his wife and family are murdered, he becomes a cold-blooded killer, essentially. And he's just after revenge. It is a revenge story, but it's also about a man who chooses life at the end of the day, who chooses to belong to a family again. Like, he picks up these characters along the way in this movie, like Chief Dan George, right? And then he picks up an old woman and the granddaughter, which is Sandra Locke, kind of like has this little romance with Sandra Locke and everything like that. And so a few other characters too, and they kind of become a family. And they have a home, and they fight for their home at the end of this. They have a standoff at their home at the end of this movie, right? And so you slowly, very slowly, it is a slower burn film, I would say, with enough action laced throughout there, but you slowly start seeing Clint Eastwood becoming less cold and showing a lot more warmth, definitely towards the people that he's protecting in this movie. But for instance, there's a scene where, like I said before, where he kills all these Bluecoats, right? Because he's got a huge reward on him, right? And then he runs into a bounty hunter at this dilapidated town, and he quickly just says, "We don't have to do this. This is gonna get ugly. You're gonna die," and everything like that. And there's some loud, like, when he goes, "Well, a man's got to make a living," and he's like, "Dying ain't much of a living, boy." The fact that he actually warned him and he just didn't shoot him, right? He actually warned him, like, we don't have to do this right here. Like, he's dropping that coldness. He's starting to, I don't want to say caring. I don't think he cares about this guy, but just cares enough. You don't need, you don't need to be dead today. You know what I mean? But the guy comes back, tests Eastwood. Eastwood takes him out. It's a great scene. But I like that. I like how Clint Eastwood's really, you see him changing through this movie. And I think that what really latches us on to Josey Wales, wanting him to come out of that. Now, this is a Western that knows how to be a Western. Clint Eastwood puts some beautiful wide shots in there. I love his action sequences in this. I love the action sequence in this where he's rescuing Sandra Locke and her grandmother, and he guns all these guys down who you don't feel sorry for because they are despicable animals in this movie. The way they treat these people and stuff like that. But Eastwood just knows how to direct it. He knows how to play a character like this. I mean, I love his pistols. I don't know what they are. I don't know the antique guns, everything, but they look bigger than most. You know what I mean? And I just love the way he just guns these guys down and the way he films this whole sequence. It's very put together well. It's cut well. You're engaged, you're entertained. It's badass. You know what I mean? Like Josey Wales is a badass in this movie. So really love that action sequence. Score is pretty good too, man. You got a really good Western score here. I believe it was nominated for an Oscar for that year too. If you like the melodies and the notes that really draw you into this world, you'll really like this score, I think. And Clint Eastwood does like the world building too, like how he draws you into this world. You know, how brutal war is, that the time of the Civil War and how it just, it took a piece out of everybody. And, this is kind of like the aftermath of all that, right? Where his family's been murdered and other crap's happened to other people and stuff like that. And there's even a point where Clint Eastwood says, I guess this war has taken a piece out of all of us or something along those lines. I just really like that, man. Just great stuff there. It's not really a negative, but the runtime of this movie is already at 2 hours and 15 minutes, I believe. And you see Outlaw Josey Wales' family get murdered and all that. And then it just jumps ahead with some credits and montages. Then you see him with this Confederate gang and everything, fighting with them and stuff like that. I just think I wanted to see a little bit more of the transition from that peaceful father, that peaceful farmer, to that cold-blooded killer. Now, if you made this movie now, maybe it would have been almost a 3-hour movie. Would that have been too long? Maybe, perhaps. But I think I would have liked the scene where he was more as the family man. Get attached more to his family and like when he loses them, we lose something too. And like, not that I don't feel nothing. I do feel something in that scene. I do feel something through this movie. But I think I would like this been with them more and seeing his transition a lot more. And he kind of like he kind of fast forward a bit. That's what he does with this, where when we really meet his character, he's already this cold-blooded killer and everything because he pressed the fast forward button kind of. But I think I would have stayed with the character and made it a complete character piece. You know what I mean? But just really a nitpick though. That's just when I'm watching this now going, yeah, I think he could have done that. I think it would have been a little bit more dramatic and everything. But I mean, it's already at a lengthy runtime as it is. So still a great movie, man. I love me some Outlaw Josey Wales. I'm going to give the Outlaw Josey Wales a solid B. But what about you guys? Let me know in the comments what you think of the Outlaw Josey Wales. Is this Clint's best Western, do you think? I still don't know if it is. I have so many more to watch, but this is up there, man. Outlaw Josey Wales is definitely up there. I love this movie a lot, so definitely go check out Outlaw Josey Wales. Come back. Let's talk about it in the comments below. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel and all that jazz. I think you'll have a lot of fun on the channel. In fact, there's your next video right below. Click on that video, go down the rabbit hole, all that jazz. I thank you so much, guys, for watching, for giving your time to the channel. So I'll see you next time, and I will see you in the movies. Cheers.